Welcome back. Canada's Federal Labour Board ordering Canada's two largest railroads, Canadian National Railway and Canadian Pacific Kansas City, to resume operations starting Monday. This following an unprecedented stoppage over a labor dispute, billions of dollars in trade between Canada and the U.S. hanging in the balance, with the Teamsters Union planning to appeal the Labour Board's ruling. Host of the Charbonne Report, Michael Charbonne, joins us now. Michael, this is certainly an interesting situation. What's causing this massive dispute between Canada's two major railways and the government and the unions? And do you see things getting back to normal Monday? And what does this all mean for trade between the U.S. and Canada?
Well, first of all, they have been told to go back to work and to address what's called binding arbitration. Yesterday, 9,300 workers did get back to it. And I mean, you have to consider this is $1 billion a day. That's the kind of business that is. The rail business in Canada represents almost 1/5 of Canada's GDP. It's about $400 billion annually. And if you recall the truckers' conflict that took place when they closed the Ambassador Bridge for 3 days, it basically crippled the North American automotive industry. Also, you think about cities having to do boil water advisories because the chlorine that's delivered to these cities on a need basis, if it's not delivered, they can't do that. You think about the automotive business back and forth. This is harvest season in the West. Canada is the largest supplier of lentils. I know that's like, who eats lentils? Lots of people eat lentils, particularly in South Asia and in Europe. Canada supplies the largest amount of lentils to the world. So all this is put in a huge situation by any potential stoppage. The unions have said that they need better working conditions, better pay. The organization said they've been developing negotiations for over 6 months with 5 deals that were averted. The government, the Trudeau government, made them go back to work because they called them essential workers. It'll still take 2 weeks, Logan, for all of it to get ramped back up. But at least there will be travel, there will be transportation on the rail lines on Monday.
Michael, housing starts, in both Canada and the United States, the stats, they're down in July and June. Homeowners in both countries facing mortgage rates that are rising. Talk to us about why this is happening and what lessons can the United States learn, real estate sector learn from Canada's mistakes.
You're right, Logan. Housing starts in Canada since Trudeau took place as our prime minister have gone down 14%. In June 2024, the average house price in Canada is about $700,000. In Toronto, where I live, it's $1.1 million. I mean, you need to put down $200,000 as a down payment, and your mortgage rate per month is about $4,000. That means you got to make about $225,000 a year. Who makes that? I mean, I wish I did. So basically, rental prices are higher. 40% of Canadians who are in a mortgage are borrowing to meet day-to-day living expenses. 20% are following behind. And Canada has like $2.3 trillion in consumer debt. This is a mortgage spiral that's going to hit in the next 6 months for us in Canada. All these people who had 1.4% mortgages are going to come due at 5%. How are you going to handle that? I mean, so if you look at the average census rate, U.S. Census said that in 2020, the average housing price in the United States was $119,000. In July, just a couple of months ago, 2024, that average housing price rate across the United States was $429,000. I mean, an American has to make over $105,000 just to make that work. But thank goodness, VP Harris is saying she's going to build 3 million houses by the end of her first term, and she's going to put down $25,000 as a payment. I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, if they run that as well as they've been running the 7.5 billion EV charger stands that they've only built 8, God help you guys. I mean...
Michael Charbonne, thank you so much for that update on what's going on in Canada. There was more we wanted to get to, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Stay safe,
Thank you, Lo.
and we'll see you soon.